Welcome to the Pattern People, where we decode the subconscious patterns behind everyday events so that you can transform your life from the inside out. I'm Irania Susan from Being Human and Sacred Relationships. My key interests are around past lives, body decoding, and relationship dynamics. For over 40 years, I've been helping people to transform their life by understanding what goes on behind the scenes.
Greetings, everyone. I'm Yasamika, Pattern Man. Because of my situation about 30 years ago, I found that I had subconscious mind programs and they were creating havoc in my life. And then I realized that with these programs, you have to clear them. It's a two-pot mix. I've been tracking mind programs for 30 years and helping people out clear their subconscious mind programming. I'm also a world bridger. That means I help clear etherics or ghosts or spooks. And I've done it all over the world. I've traveled to massacre sites and war sites to help clear the undead. I have a pretty good idea what happened in the third and the fourth dimension and further up. So let's get into some decoding, some patterns.
We'll decode some patterns, and today's pattern comes from Linda in Taranaki in New Zealand. And this is what Linda has to say. I hate asking for anything. Even when I really need help, I just cannot ask for the help I need. I hate putting my problems onto other people when they have so much to deal with in their own lives.
Oh, good.
I feel like I get in the way and no one really wants me in their life anyway.
She does burden good, this woman.
Even when I was a kid, it felt like my parents and the other kids in my family thought I was a nuisance. Wow.
Okay.
That's a bit of a heart-rending kind of program there, or pattern there. So what have you got on that?
Okay. Burden jumps out like...
Yeah.
She's an adult. I presume she's an adult. She's an adult. So, you got to find out where these patterns start from. Hearing it from an adult point of view is hopeless, really. So we go back.
You can, but it's only just what's right there at this point. It's like getting back to the root of the cause is what we need to find so that we can clear back as far as possible.
When we're born, between 0 and 7, that's a good time to start tracking back where your patterning comes from. This is the inner child stuff. Now, we take it back a bit further. So here's, what's the name, sorry?
This is Linda.
Okay. Here's Linda up in spirit world, which is kind of up here. She gets asked down from mum and dad. From what we understand, the males, the spirit of the male goes up and asks the female daughters if they would like to incarnate in. So somewhere along the line, the father, the spirit of the father's gone up there and says, hey, you want to come down, be a child? Be one of our children? And here's mum. Now, she's come down. Now, she's trusted, whoever asked her to come down, she trusted them. So she goes, yeah, okay, I'll come down and be your child. So she comes down, incarnates in, and she realizes, she might be unplanned. She might be a mistake. She's turned up out of nowhere.
And it's funny, that concept of unplanned, especially when you look at with a female, the father coming up in spirit and saying, will you come down and be my daughter? You would think that this is planned. And at a subconscious and higher level, it has been planned. But for us in the third dimensional solid physical layer, these people know nothing about that. They do not know the planning that's gone on in the fourth dimension.
No, because it's the soul that actually picks the incarnation. Now, this person here has to learn lessons about being a burden, being the one straw too much on the camel's back or whatever. It's important for her to learn those dynamics. So her soul goes, you need to incarnate in there, and that incarnation, I know it's subconsciously going to really upset you, and painful. Consciously you're going to have a real tricky one. But point is, you have to learn what it's like, because somewhere along the line, she's been the opposite, and she's brought people in. What's the opposite of burden?
Well, do you mean that she's made people feel like they are a burden? Or she's been
she has to live the opposite of whatever it was.
We all do. We all live every part of everything. So if we get bullied,
we have to live this
in a past life. We have been the bully.
And
that's part of that learning trinity I talked about in a previous video. We observe, things happen to us, and then we initiate on ourselves or other people. That's all part of that learning trinity.
It's the old saying, coin has two sides, or vinyl, if you can remember.
They're coming back, aren't they?
You have to have a flip side as
well. The flip side, the B side.
So, we're the same. We're totally the same. Now, what's going on here, she's come down and said, I'll put a lot of kids there. And it's kind of like, oh, wow. I wonder if mum and dad can actually afford to look after me. She may come down, and her subconscious mind is well aware that the other kids are going, oh God, not another. That could be. Can you just zip over that one briefly?
Well, I was just looking at this quickly, and she has not said what her situation specifically is. But she just says she hates asking for anything, even when I really need to. Now that sounds to me like someone who's been put in their place, or I'm too busy, or I'm too, or stop your whining, stop your crying, get a whack, whatever it is, and I've got too much to do to worry about you. So that's a possibility. It's not the only one, but it is a possibility.
I can jump in there. Can you just put a pause on that?
Yeah, I'll put a pause on that.
Asking is receiving. Receiving is being feminine, because the feminine part of a human being is the receptive part. So what happens is that this is a female. So when she goes to be feminine and she would like to receive, even ask to receive, she gets, obviously, due to her patterning, she's unable to manifest that. So this could flick her masculine. Which is the opposite of receiving. It's projecting.
Yeah, and that's really interesting, because people who often perceive themselves as a burden, they often will overcompensate, and they will try to be everything to everybody to make up to, you know what I mean? They just, instead of allowing themselves to receive, and they will often block compliments, or block gifts, or block. Someone says, oh, I'll take over for you. Oh, no, I'll do this. And it's like, it's my duty. I'm the burden. I have to do this.
Yeah, what happens is
that happens so often.
They'll change from being the receiver to being the provider.
Yeah.
And the masculine aspect.
That which is the masculine,
is the provider. So they'll end up being masculine, subconsciously projecting masculinity. And they could work, turn very machine-like, which is masculine.
Robotic,
and be a blue mindset.
Because the red mindset's the receiving one, right?
Red one's the receiver, because it's feminine. So, they will receive.
And, if you are the provider, you're the one that's trying to make everything better for everybody else, because you've got this inner sense of being the burden, so you need to make up for it. There's no way on this earth that you're going to ask somebody to help you, because you're the one that has to be helping. You're the one that has to be providing. So you will hate to ask, because you feel like if I ask, it's a burden on other people. And to flip that around, you want to be the one, you'll be strong in yourself so that you do not need to ask anybody else, even if you're not strong on the inside, which is often the way with that really strong blue mind.
Yeah.
That they've got a hard shell, but inside they're a bit like a jellyfish.
Yeah.
And even though you might really, really, really want to ask or get someone to help you, you just cannot break through that barrier of that hard blue shell.
Quite often, the blue female, their dream is to actually manifest, I think it's called a sugar daddy.
Yeah, to provide for them.
To provide for them. But the last thing their subconscious mind
won't do that.
would allow her to receive anything because the sugar daddy is going to provide. And she'll be programmed. I'll chuck a blue snake on there. She'll be programmed to be a blue coil of energy. And she'll be so good at it, she'll probably double blue.
Possibly even 3.
Now, blue's allowed within the transgressional line, but if you start throwing 3, that's where the mission or the task, the specific task is, let's do this challenge, turns into, the person throws a 3, that's where they turn nasty, bossy, dominant.
Bossy and dominant. Those are 2 really good words.
And they start breaking down their reality.
Yeah.
The blue will construct a reality because you need focus. Yeah. And you need the blue and you need the blue coil. But you overdo it with a 3, you're going to start imploding. And as soon as any consciousness, individual, group, whatever, starts getting too bossy and too blue, they start imploding, and it's a destructive reality.
And that's
which includes their body.
Yeah, exactly. It impacts on your physical. Everything that we do and everything that we are impacts back on our physical body, and we feel it. So if you're pushing too hard, you'll find people backing away from you, and yet that will reinforce this: I'm a nuisance. You've got this underlying, I'm a burden, I'm a nuisance, nobody wants anything to do with me. I think she said the parents and the kids and the family thought, according to her perception, thought that she was a nuisance. And it may be, to try and get the attention or to get noticed. There's a tendency with blue-minded people to just push it over the line. And as Yasa said, as soon as we go across that transgressional line, everything starts to become destructive.
Yeah.
And instead of getting people's attention to get them to like you, to be with you, to spend time with you, to whatever, they want to distance themselves.
Yeah.
Because maybe you've got a bit too bitey or a bit too grumpy or micromanaging or laying down the rules, which is what happens when blue-minded people go over the line. Yeah,
quite often you'll get perhaps the male in the family go outside and work in the shed or something. They'll be blue and they'll be focused. Blue people, double blue, they tend to like to isolate themselves. Doing study.
Busy doing something.
I'm isolated myself, I need to focus. And what happens is that if the subconscious goes, hey, throw a 3, you might get a better job done. You'll know it. And a person walk around in a 3 blue mind, they're nasty, sharp, addictive.
The other thing that it is that it makes us
Gestapo karma.
Leads to burnout. It leads to stress. It leads, if you can ever think that when you've got that time at work or wherever, and you're just having to focus so much on it and push to get something done, at the partway through that or towards the end, you get that burnout, and it will stop you in your tracks. So that's how this triple blue mind can actually impact on your physical body. But anyway, let's, we've gone.
I'd go back here.
Gone a ways back down that blue track.
This is the effect.
Yeah.
The cause.
This is what happens.
The cause, the subconscious causes. She's come in. And for whatever reason, you're going to have to find out the reason.
Yeah.
Okay, the family sounds a bit vindictive and a bit.
But see, this is her perception too. So maybe they're not feeling that themselves, but her programming makes her feel. Because remember, truth is perception. So the way you perceive it is your truth, but it does not necessarily mean it's everybody else's. So they may have been tricky towards you, or you may have just felt that you were inadequate for a reason. You've come in on the end of a large family. Mum and dad are fighting over money, and you think, oh, it's all my fault, I should never have come in, all this kind of thing.
Yeah.
And you take that responsibility and burden on your shoulders. So it's a possibility that she could well have shoulder issues, or, you know, upper back, stiff neck,
sore lower back too.
Yeah, sore lower back, because that's like everything compresses down onto that kind of lumbar sacral region.
Yeah.
And that will hold you in this feeling of having the weight of the world on your shoulders, and it's a burden to you because you feel like you're a burden to other people.
Yeah, the orange chakra is the transformer, and it creates practical things.
Yeah.
So if this woman is running around providing, looking after other people's future, because blue people think in the future, red people think in the past. So she's running around trying to fix everyone's future. It's going to be in the orange chakra. We project our future out of our back. So if she's overdoing it, overcompensating for her burden, it could show up in her lower back. And this is all future down here. So she's busy using this one, because whenever we want to create anything practical, like build a new car shed or build a new life for myself, that's something solid and practical and functional. That's the orange chakra. You know, females, they create babies
in the orange chakra.
In the orange chakra. Okay. So yeah. Cheers, Frank.
It's always a pleasure to have you, Frank.
Yeah,
and it's interesting that we've looked specifically at the blue-mindedness here. And the reason we've done that is because, yeah, a red-based person may feel like a burden, but generally they're more easygoing. They're less likely to take it on as a major issue and feel like they have to overcompensate.
If a red person thinks they're a burden, they will try and, red people work on emotions. So what they'll do is they'll try and lighten the emotional load.
Yeah.
So they will run around and try and make sure everyone's happy and having a good time. Are you okay? Emotionally. They will not do anything practical. They will not say, oh, would you like me to fix the roof for you? Or I'll go out and fix the car. No. They'll say, are you happy? Let me go buy you a drink. Let's sit down and have a cuppa. And their job is, and what happens here is, 2 reds is fine, because it's the same as the blue. 2's fine. This is having fun. And if you got children or have anything to do with children, you'll know a child that's naturally happy, and you'll also know a child that overdoes it.
It's overexcited.
And this is where the parent or the guardian goes, oi, settle down. You're getting overexcited. You're either going to hurt yourself, knock something over, or hurt someone else, because the 3 is a destructive reality.
Yeah.
So if this person here, sorry, what's her name again?
Linda.
Go Linda. Depending on what pattern the subconscious mind's gone, if she's throwing
she'll know which way she's
treble red, you know, drink too much, smoke too much, whatever else too much. Okay.
Yeah, that's the other way of getting out of it, or, you know, feeling a bit sorry for yourself. That's also
because the pendulum's gone to burden, she goes far out. I need to fix that up.
Yeah, so try and bring it back into line.
So to get back, she needs clearings on being a burden.
Yeah, exactly.
Why? How come? Yeah.
So
that's the cause.
There we go, Linda. There's some insights into the programming and the patterning, subconscious patterning behind feeling like a burden.
Burden's a goodie.
It's a really good one, and it's
Yeah, man.
actually more common
Well,
than you might realize. We see a lot of clients, and what you're seeing us do here is just a wee snapshot of the kind of things that we do when we're working with a client, except we go a lot deeper. So if this pattern resonates with you and you would like to do something about it, have a look at our burden clearing in the clearing library, and I'll pop the link below. Or if you prefer to book a personal session with us, I'll put the booking links below as well. And as always, if you have a pattern or something that's going on in your life that you would like us to decode in the Pattern People, please send us a paragraph or so letting us know what is blocking you, what's going on, and how this is impacting on your life.
we'll decode it for you.
Exactly. And if you want to know more about how your mind works and subconscious mind programs, then check out our Welcome to Yourself series, which will get you started so that you can understand how this all works. And I'll pop the link for that below as well.
And if you know anyone who's interested in patterns, interested in what's happening behind the scenes that's creating these situations, share this.
Please do. We'd really appreciate a like or a share, and subscribe to our channel. That always helps out. So anyway, we'll see you next time. Bye for now.
Cheers.